Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor, Island of the Idols, Episode 2.
Week 2, and this episode title is YOLO Let's Play, as in you only live once. Let's Play, and that was spoken by Kellee. You guessed that before we even watched it.
Yep,
good deal. All right, so no previously on. It's straight to the Lairo camp there on night 3, and Elaine tells us Aaron is not happy.
We didn't see this, but Elaine said they tried to tell him about Ronnie and get him on board, but he didn't. So he didn't think they tried that hard, obviously, but he said he would have voted with them, but I don't think he would have. I think he would have just maybe tried to get more people over on their side, but did you like it that Vince stepped in and gave him some...
Vince didn't care one way or another what was going on. He just asked Aaron straight up, hey, why me? What's going on with that?
Yeah, why'd you vote for me?
Aaron was backpedaling. Oh, I wasn't tight with Ronnie.
Well, he said he thought the majority was voting for you. That's why I voted for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well...
What did you think about Missy's choice?
To pull him aside and tell him to get over it, basically.
Well, actually, it was more than that. So my answer to that is I really liked it. She said, look, he's mad, but I can use him.
Yeah, I can still work with him.
Yeah.
So he needs to get over it.
Yeah, I'm going to help him adjust his attitude so that he can be a valuable asset to my game. So I like how she was ready to pivot very quickly and jump on that opportunity.
She was, but did she give him enough time to cool down? Maybe not.
I don't know that it was effective. It wasn't like you're saying necessarily the right time, but she did also say in passing that the girls' alliance was in control. So we weren't completely clear, but from Missy's perspective at least, they stuck together.
Yes, but Aaron's prediction for the future is their day will come.
Yeah, he immediately focused on revenge. And we've seen that work, and we've seen it work to great effect. And it's
but
actually...
also to their disadvantage.
Exactly. So he's all butthurt about it, and he's, he doesn't seem like someone who's going to be able to manage that really well.
But don't you think that's just human nature?
It absolutely is. And the assessment of how good of a player you are is how quick you can adjust from that.
Yes.
I mean, I know
to adjust.
In the corporate world, I would get spun around and I got blindsided frequently with things. When you're not directly in control of your future or things like how the budget's going to play out, you can have people working to undermine you just for that very fact. And that's much like what's going on in this game here. You get to a certain point in your career when you're involved in making these huge decisions, and these are, you're dealing with similar situations from my assessment at least. And it does you no good in the bigger picture to stew on these things. You can tuck them away. You can remember, and when somebody comes back around asking for a favor or they need you, then you can decide how you want to manage it. But you can't really afford to invest any energy in it. You really just have to keep moving. Missy, she was keeping moving. Aaron, he was stuck in the mad gear.
Yeah, but in all fairness, it had just happened. So they might have... I think it was good to go ahead and approach him, because he could have made himself nuts overnight and just been really crazy by morning. So
he probably was. And what Missy did was she banked this. She banked it And there might be a way to use what she just did, because she can say, look, I reached out to you right afterwards. I was the one, and I know you were hurting and all that, but I was there, and now I need your help with this. So that can be really powerful, and it can really speak to that portion of him that's all about revenge. So
did you want to stay on the outs?
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to pull you in.
You're right. So I think she laid a foundation for a potential move with him, and I really liked that. I liked watching that. She's obviously playing the game at a different level than him. That's my takeaway.
Okay, now over to the Purple Tribe.
Over to Vokai. It's day 4.
And Noura, off she goes.
She's a little upset because she got up to tend the fire while others were sleeping.
Night. And I didn't sleep last night for us.
So all this, yeah.
I kept the fire going.
It's like Angelina, but she actually did something, but she's going to beat him over the head with it like Angelina would. Yeah, and this this is where we got that line from Next Time on Survivor where she was saying, well, you can't just sheep around. You've actually got to do work.
Yeah. I thought, we talked about it a little bit during commercial. I thought if she'd really been playing smart, she would have just said, look, guys, we really need to keep this fire going, blah, blah, blah. How about we have, sign up, everybody take a 2-hour shift, and, one person will wake up the next person, and et cetera, and we'll all work together as a team.
Look at you being all logical.
As a tribe.
They didn't cast Noura because she's logical. They cast her because they recognized her as this hothead, and she delivered quite bountifully in this episode.
And she prides herself in not fitting in.
Mm-hmm. And Molly tells us it's hard to be around her, and all this just wears on you having to. So there's definitely a Noura tax.
Well, and she says Molly doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's your worker bee, but Noura, on the other hand, is telling everyone how to do everything, how it should be done.
Yep. Molly's not strong. She's not helpful, and she's dangerous.
And who tries to calm her down?
Before you go there,
okay,
I just would like I'm going to speak to Noura for a second.
Okay.
Quit talking with food in your mouth. Okay, now keep going.
Oh, Lordy. Stacy's pet peeve.
One of them.
Yeah, that's true, too.
All right.
Okay, Jason tells her, Noura, honey, you got to calm down.
And you can. With me by your side, you can be calm.
Yeah.
Just a healthy dose of Jason, and that'll solve your problems.
Yeah, Nora's like, nah.
So,
she's not buying it.
So to Jason's credit, though, he said, this is good for my game. She's more disliked than I am. But I owe her, so I'm going to try to help her, too.
Yeah, well, probably knowing that it won't work, but I like that, hey, they bonded over it, nonetheless.
Molly tells us, well, it'll be Jason over Noura. That's how it's going to be.
I wonder why Noura thought that Molly is like the glue that holds Jack and Jamal together. I thought Tommy was Jack's number one.
No, well, that's just what we know from our perspective. She's speaking from hers, and so she didn't have the benefit of seeing Tommy and Jack make that alliance.
Well, and here's the first we hear of. Those three are the popular kids.
Yeah.
And it's just like high school all over again.
Yeah, we're going to set it up so it's a familiar stereotype that we can use.
And Noura has a few hang-ups from high school still. So.
All right, you ready to bounce back over to Lairo?
Yes, sir.
It's night 4, and guess who can't make fire?
Hey, Aaron.
And Tom. Neither one of them are doing a good job.
They can't get the fire. Oh, my goodness, blah, blah, blah. Chelsea walks over, starts it in 2 minutes flat.
Boom. But the disappointing part of that, I guess it shouldn't be surprising, is that she starts it and she says, quick, get firewood. So they weren't prepared even if they had started it.
Yep.
They were coming at it from a perspective of failure to begin with, Tom and Aaron, that is. But they all jump on it and they go out to get firewood, and this is where Chelsea really doubles down because she's got situational awareness. What's she doing while she's gathering firewood?
Looking for an idol.
That's right. She's checking, and so she looks right in it's like a V of a tree or a hole there in the tree, and voila, she's got the first hidden immunity idol.
You good, Chelsea girl.
Well done, Chelsea.
And she tells us that, the women can do anything they can do, just better.
I totally believe her at this point. She's delivering. She's got the evidence to prove it.
And Tom's more concerned about his poor ego.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, and that he could make fun of it, too.
Yes, yeah. I liked all that. We're back at Vokai. It's day 5. And we're doing some amming with Noura.
Oh.
She's got them all out on the beach. She's going to do a ridiculous workout.
50 times over that. No.
Why would you do that with a group of people that you don't really know? So they're getting their yoga workout on, and Jack tells us he's here for the adventure. Cue the boat arriving. A messenger comes in on the boat and delivers the message to, who was it that got it? Dan? And he says, we got to read this as a tribe, and it's the announcement that Kellee is going to be on her way to Island of the Idols, and she'll return later tonight. Jason gives her some quick advice. He says, assume nothing and be prepared to think outside the box. Okay, so we're 15 minutes into the episode, and Kellee is on her way to the Island of the Idols. And she's wondering if she's going to have to smash some urns or if Cochran's going to pop out of the bushes and surprise her.
But she sees Rob and Sandra tells her right off, this is better than Cochran.
Just want to set the record straight right out of the gate there. Good job, Sandra. Okay, so they're trying to give her some hints to focus on the test. What did you think about the little montage here?
I really thought she wasn't paying that much attention.
I thought the same thing too. I thought, wait, I don't know if she's going to get this or not. She's obviously very book smart, but she even tells us that she's got a bad memory. So her memory's not good, which I didn't expect given her age. Usually the bad memory hits you later. So I remember when I first noticed it, because I got all the way through high school pretty much on memory. I could memorize chapters of books, see the text written in where it was in the book when I was taking the test. I could recall it, see it, and pull the answer out of there. I just had to have looked at it recently. I got really good at waking up the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning of a test, reading a chapter or two, being able to store that off, take the test, and then it would be gone when we'd come back and test on it at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was. Had to relearn everything.
Yeah, you'd have to do it.
Because I didn't learn it.
No.
I just memorized it.
But I can remember distinctly at work the year I turned 36, noticing and going, wow, something has shifted. I mean, I'd already found out in college that I couldn't keep up, that the pace and the volume of material just completely outstripped my ability to memorize and see things like that. So I'd already started adapting, but when I turned 36 was probably when I first noticed that I couldn't keep people's names. If I hadn't seen someone for, say, 3 months or something like that, it was a big campus, 8,000 of us there, and I hadn't seen someone for a few months, I wouldn't even be able to remember their name. And it's just deteriorated from there. That's what you have to look forward to, kids. You may not understand it when you're hearing me describe it, but that's a path that some of you are gonna go down and join me on. Well,
hey, we know that I don't even try to remember. I'll just write it down and hope I can find my list.
Right, exactly. All right, Boston Rob calls Kellee a smarty pants, but they go ahead and give her a test, and when she hesitates, he sweetens the deal. So instead
ask if she wants to take the test.
4 out of 5 questions, she only has to answer 3 out of 5. I thought she was still going to blow it at this point when she talked about her memory not being that good and given that blank face that she was given when they were sharing all the details.
Well, she reminded me of me in that the minute somebody says, I'm giving you a test, I freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I always did well on tests, but you would think, and I would tell everyone, my friends, I would drive them nuts. Well, I'm not prepared, but I'm not prepared. And then, I'd go in and get a great
Yeah, you basically became the girl that cried wolf.
It's like, oh, no, the test. But it was just the test thing that freaked me out.
So not only did he sweeten the deal where she only had to get 3 out of 5 questions right, he made the idol good for the next 3 tribal councils.
Well, there's
Instead
only
of
2
2.
now. 2 more.
Okay, you're mixing things up temporarily.
I know.
Let's stay in the moment.
Yes, darling.
And this is when we get the title. Kellee says, when they pressure her to whether or not she's going to play, YOLO, let's play. All right, and so she gets the first question right. Sandra's husband's in the Army, and that Sandra's got 2 daughters.
And what was I saying?
Look at Sandra's
her hat.
Yeah, but Kellee may not know that was the Army. And then she remembered the names of one of the dogs there. So she ends up with 3, and she gets her idol. Pretty powerful. Now, for me, a person who had Kellee as going home, this seemed like it darkened the possibility of my maxing out my score a bit. So I thought, well, it's going to come down to how she plays it. So I'm not going to give up hope yet.
Oh, yeah. He kept saying, well, that doesn't mean I couldn't get a point because she could still get blindsided.
Yeah, she could leave it in her
So he was
pocket.
still hanging on to getting a point
hopeful.
off of Kellee.
Boston Rob tells us in his assessment as Kellee heads back to her tribe that she has skills. Lauren recognizes that Kellee's back, and so they all gather around, and Kellee lays out her master plan. What did you think of how she worked
actually handled it, I think, pretty good because
She went right for the waterworks.
dumped her stuff out and did the, all of that. And
She cries.
cried and,
She said she's going to cover it with crying.
I don't want anybody to think I have an
Now, you
idol.
jumped on this.
Blah, 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 blah.
You jumped on this quick. You said they're telling them the same story because she came back and gave the 3 urn story just like Elizabeth did. So either production or Rob and
We forgot
Sandra.
to go back and look. There was something down at the very bottom of what Rob was reading, and I thought I had remembered them saying at some point, Sandra or Rob, that they were going to try to convince everybody not to tell. So maybe they're even giving them the story, a story to tell.
Could be. I don't think there's anything of consequence to what you're referring to in the instructions.
No, but I do want to
that
go
they
back
were-
and look
Sure. Yeah, we will.
at the bottom because there was something there.
So do you think she convinced them?
I think she did.
She hid the idol in her hair. I don't know that we've
And then
seen
hugged
that.
everyone.
Seen that? Yeah. So she was a little uptight, thinking they were going to feel it in her hair, but no, they didn't.
Well, that was pretty good, though she could have hidden it on her person.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is normally what people do.
So unless you're stripped
she-
down to your basics, which she was not, she could have had it hidden.
It was
on her.
definitely on her person. It was just in her hair,
Yeah.
which was different. I would have thought that could have came loose, but I don't know anything about securing hair like that. So
Me neither.
she was awfully confident in it. Okay, moving on. Day 6, time for community challenge and reward. And so we get a quick reaction to Runny being voted out, and then we see the reward table. What did you think of that? What all did you
That
see?
was very different.
Yeah, how so?
Well, I expected it some kind of puzzle you put together.
Reward
You know.
table. Reward table.
Oh, the reward table.
Yeah. We haven't
Why
started
didn't you
this.
say the reward
I
table?
did. Out loud.
Yes, I know, but I was thinking of the other table.
Uh-huh.
So, but I think it's awesome if you're getting food.
You have to have
Locally.
something to put spices
'Cause,
on.
Yeah, a lot of spices, even some fresh spices, and it'll be awesome if they are catching fish.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not catching fish or something they can put all those lovely spices on, then not so much.
Right.
But, I mean, most people would just eat spices, anything for a different flavor.
You said when you were looking at it that there was some cookware and there was a grill.
Yeah.
What, some utensils?
There was
maybe?
an extra hanging pot, and there was a big fryer pan, it looked like, and there was a grill that they could lay things on and just put the grill over the fire. And I don't remember what all else, but lots of different kinds of spices, both fresh and not fresh.
I don't know why, but when Dan reacted to the spices, I thought that's fake. But that's just my thought.
Maybe he loves to cook and he likes to use fresh spices and herbs.
Yeah, maybe it was true excitement.
So, anyway, it's better. Anything's better than nothing out there, I'm certain.
So let's talk about the challenge. It starts off, this is our first challenge with a water element. So we've got 6 tribe members out there from each tribe, and they have to dive in and swim over to where a ladder has been submerged. It's tied to the bottom of the ocean floor there. It looks like it was maybe 6 to 8 feet. I don't think it's any more than 8 feet down. Probably not even that. It's probably more like 6. But it's tied down, so you got to swim down and untie the knots. Elizabeth has a mask, and Tommy has a mask. And Elizabeth quickly dives down and seems to make short work of it from the way...
And by herself.
Yeah, by herself from the way the edit looked.
And Jack finds the ladder. Janet immediately goes down, and Jack too. And
so I'm not sure
Tommy's got the...
I'm not sure what Tommy was doing. Not much anything. I did notice that Aaron seemed to be clutching the buoy there that marked where the ladders were submerged. He seemed to be really happy that it was there. He latched onto it tight, so I'm wondering if his swimming skills maybe aren't that great.
I did not notice that. I'll have to go back and look.
All right, so Lairo gets their ladder first, and they get it over to where there's 3 balls that are tied up high, and so
little bag.
Yeah, and suspended in a bag from the end of an arm, a pole there. That's hanging out. So the tribe members have to brace the ladder themselves. They can't put it on anything. I thought at first maybe they were going to be able to rest it on it, but
on
no.
The pole, no.
But they actually have to brace it themselves. I think there might have been something to put it in to sort of secure it, the way Probst was describing it a little bit when Vokai started having trouble. In any case, Chelsea scrambles up, gets it, and throws the balls down, and they're off.
Except they lost the balls. They had to search.
They did.
I thought, oh no, you're going to lose your lead, but they did not.
No, Vince finds it pretty quickly, and they're back on track, whereas Vokai is having a lot of trouble. Molly scrambles up the ladder, and then they lose control of the ladder, and they dump her in the water. She gets right back up there, and they dump her straight in the water again. And then on the 3rd try, she finally is able to retrieve the balls from up there.
And as they're coming in, Orange is already starting the game.
Right, so they have to carry the ladder up the beach and then use it as a bridge over an area. So they have to walk over the ladder rungs to get to where the actual puzzle component is. So they hand off the balls to Missy, Elaine, and Karishma for Lairo.
We didn't see Karishma do anything, though, did we?
No, Missy started, and she did from what we got to see, it appeared that she started the challenge for them on the puzzle, and she landed the first one right away, and then ran into some difficulty and tagged out with Elaine, and Elaine got the second one, and by this time Vokai finally got there.
And Jamal planted 2, and they were tied.
Yeah, just like that. They're caught back up. And it looked like that Jamal was going to win it. He got one awfully close to the 3rd position after Missy had actually had tagged back in and replaced Elaine, and had actually thrown the ball off the puzzle. She had to go retrieve it.
Little adrenaline there.
Yeah. She went and retrieved it and then got back and then actually scored the win. So I was really happy because at this point I had Kellee going, so I really needed Vokai to lose. So things were still looking positively for me at this point.
Me.
Who did you have going?
I had the Orange Tribe losing and Aaron going.
Makes sense. I could see why you might think that. Yeah.
And not only that, I had Dan, Lauren, and Kellee safe.
Yeah, well, that's almost, some of that's a little bold on your part. That's unusual for you. You usually play it much more conservatively. That's kind of
you notice I didn't put Noura.
JSFL Bold Junior, I would say. Kind of like a Kim J Bold.
Okay.
Real bold is me. I had Aaron safe, Dan safe, I had Jason safe, and Noura safe. Which is important because Tommy tells us after they lose the challenge that either Noura or Jason are going. So I'm like,
Didn't sound so bold then, did it?
Yeah, well, It sounded bold, but it sounded the sort of on the reckless side of, instead of heroically bold, it was recklessly bold at that point.
Okay,
Is what it
thank you, 'cause I
started
agree.
sounding.
I agree with that assessment.
Tommy tells us there's a struggle going on inside. Is teacher Tommy going to win, or is survivor Tommy going to win?
And he has no clue what's really coming, does he?
No, he doesn't in the slightest.
Along with the rest of us.
Okay, let's head back to camp with Vokai there on day 6 after the challenge. We see a gigantic school of fish. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but it was mighty pretty.
We see Noura and Noura and Jason
pondering
immediately isolate themselves. Jason was sitting out on the beach. Noura was hanging clothes out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what are y'all doing out alone? Don't give anybody any time to talk. But then they did what they were doing and went back and started working it.
Cut to Jack and Jamal and Noura at the well getting water, and I was really disappointed in Noura's response. Jamal asked her to justify why they should pick her over Jason, and she really didn't want to have any of that.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Her response was, I want to be here. So she made some reference to loyalty or whatever. She didn't seem to be doing enough to save herself to me.
Yeah, I think she just didn't want to throw Jason under the bus or something. But it's like, well, honey, if it's you or him.
It's a game. What are you doing?
Yes, you may be loyal, but.
Right. That's not going to get you the million. It's not reward loyalty. That's not the game. Oh, well. Jamal tells us, well, they're just going to split the vote on the odd chance that Jason actually has an idol. They're going to do that, and he is tight with Molly and Jack, and he's really happy with how the game's playing. He figures they're under the radar, but they're calling the shots.
But he tells Molly what they want to do, but Molly's kind of like, well, he wants Jason, but I want Noura. So they weren't really on the same page there either. So they were going to split the vote in case Jason had an idol.
Mm-hmm.
And thought everybody was on board. So Jamal suggested an afternoon nap.
And he was hardcore snoring. He was snoring the way that I fear I would snore if
trust me,
I
you
was
would.
there. And that was some pretty heavyweight snoring he was doing.
Actually, it's mild compared to yours, baby. I hear you in here watching TV when you're in the back of the house.
Yeah.
So what is that noise? Oh.
Yeah.
Stacy went to bed.
Yep. There's some lumber needs to be cut. I'm asleep. Yes.
Yep. Chainsaw for real.
And he just was, he didn't have a care in the world. He was snoring and getting his nap in. Good
That's
for
right.
you, Jamal.
And so Lauren tells Kellee and Janet that she actually asked Janet, how do you feel about Molly?
Yes, this is an important distinction, right? She didn't.
Yes, she didn't tell them.
Nope.
She didn't show her hand, which was very smart play from Lauren.
Yeah.
And she's got more game than I thought she had.
Yep.
And Janet actually told the truth. She just said what she thought.
Molly is smart. And
Molly's dangerous.
She's got the men in the palm of her hand.
Yep.
So
And
Lauren's all about what we going to do about that.
Yeah.
Giving your sage advice, Janet.
And Kellee looked shocked.
Yeah, she just looked
Like,
dumbfounded by the
what?
whole thing. Wait
Molly?
a second. Yeah, how are we going to go after her? How could it be her? Lauren says, yeah, Molly first.
Well, then Lauren runs off and talks to Jason about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why wouldn't he be thrilled?
Yes, I liked how she laid it out.
Anybody but me.
She laid it out really nicely. We've got a king, or a queen, a king, and the Jack. She differentiated Jack. So he may not quite be in the same category as Jamal and Molly.
And
but
while
those three.
While Lauren's doing that, Janet talks to Tommy and said,
him up
"Hey,
to speed.
everybody's scared of Molly."
Molly's out.
And I'm not sure Tommy handled that quite as well.
Well, it wasn't the plan he was looking for
No,
sure. He's
no.
like, what? Not now.
It's like, no, it's not the time for that. That I got Jack and Jamal in my pocket, and I'm thinking, So what are you telling her? If you don't go with them, you're not with them. Because you got Jack and Jamal in your pocket. And obviously Molly, too. So
I bet you Janet explained it. I bet she said something along the lines of, and wouldn't you like not to have to compete with Molly for their attention and their vote?
Yep. Yeah.
Tommy's pretty worried, though. He thinks he's going to lose Jack and Jamal if he makes that play.
Yep, and they're still calling them the cool kids.
Yeah, they set it up for that. Cool kids versus the nerds. Which one? And Tommy says his parents wanted him to make the wise choice, even back then, for who he spent his time with. And I bet you the nerds will get you the money, Tommy.
And Noura is ready to dance.
Jeez.
She's going to dance a jig.
Yeah, Jason's trying to shut her down. This ain't Footloose. Or this is Footloose. You can't dance. Except they all end up dancing. So maybe that wasn't the best one to go with, Jason.
But, okay, and I'm thinking, wow. All of a sudden, I went from trying to save a safe point and
I don't wanna
losing my USB.
I don't want to lose my
Okay.
USB. Okay, let's go to Tribal Council.
Goodness.
It's night 6. And what does Noura do straight out of the gate? She catches her hair on fire.
That was kind of funny.
Fire represents
I don't know
life.
why I would have started screaming had my hair been on fire or something.
As loud and, as she is, I'm surprised she didn't.
Yeah, she just
I
tried
think-
to. Nobody noticed.
Yeah, I
I'm
think-
putting it out as fast as I can.
Right. I think she was like, I don't think anyone saw that.
It's like the camera did.
Yeah, the camera definitely
You
did,
can
Noura.
bet they're going to show it.
All right, so Probst zeroes in on Jason with the first question. What can you tell us about bonding, Jason? He says, everyone but me. The paranoia set in, and supposedly I'm out finding idols, and that put me in purgatory. Tommy says, yeah, that can clearly put you on the outs and make for easy first votes. And Kelly's telling him that he missed the group culture. He wasn't paying attention. But he tries to make his case. What'd you think?
What are you about?
Jason.
Emptying his bag out and all that?
Yeah. He's, search me.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of
Those things don't come
felt
off.
like what Kellee did.
Yeah.
You know, like he was copying Kellee.
Yeah, it didn't seem as, I don't know, I guess because we had just seen it, it didn't seem as sincere somehow.
But I actually didn't like how Molly handled it.
It seemed
Well,
a
I'm
little,
offended.
yeah, it seemed
You know,
pretentious.
We've enjoyed you out here these days. And I thought, Molly.
She's offended by him saying he felt like he was in purgatory. What are you doing? Yeah, that was a little odd.
Yeah, I thought it was a little disingenuous, but
But wait,
anyway.
Noura to the rescue. She'll talk about what an odd bird she is.
Yep, I
Over
never
and
fit
over.
in. I don't fit in anywhere. And I don't. It's been a benefit in my career, so I don't want to fit in.
Fitting out equals success,
Okay, Noura,
she tells
you
us.
just dig that hole, girl.
Yeah. I guess she tried to bring it back around by saying, I'm seeing my real life problems magnified while I'm out here, and that's part of why I'm having these difficulties. So there must have been some truth she was getting to.
Okay.
Probst asks her if she sees any way to unring the bell, and her only answer is, I'm just trying not to drown.
Well, I didn't think what Molly said about, when Jeff said, it's hard to change your core, and Molly had said, well, knowing that about her does help.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, okay, that's an okay answer, non-committal kind of, okay, it helps knowing that, but I just couldn't tell if she really meant it, but...
What do you think about Dan? How did he handle himself at Tribal Council? We got to hear at least one thing from him.
Well, I didn't have any problem at all with his statement about, the smarter people out here, know that, you're not just voting for the people that annoyed you today.
Mm-hmm.
So we're smart enough to think ahead.
Or at least look beyond that.
Yeah.
We're playing chess, not checkers, he
Because
says.
he knows what's coming, and Jamal and Molly and Jack don't.
Jamal, and speaking to that, Jamal, it's his turn now, and he tells us, well, he's just in first gear, and this game's a slow burn, which is contrary to everything they say about modern Survivor. So I don't think he was thinking a whole lot about that.
No, and Lauren's contradicting him, saying, no, you got to play, and you got to play wholeheartedly. And, we're in fourth gear.
Yeah, and Jason clearly tried to point out by saying, look, I brought my bag, you didn't.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a speed difference going on here.
I didn't think Jamal handled that well.
Yeah, you didn't like his response?
I didn't much care for it, no.
I don't know that it was negative necessarily.
No, it just wasn't very...
It's a compliment, but it was also an affirmation. That's why it didn't help him. So he said, you're playing a picture-perfect game from the bottom.
Yeah.
Which is fair. And he said...
Yeah, but it's almost a backhanded compliment.
He too... Well, yeah, because it was an affirmation. Because, yeah, you're on the bottom, but you're doing great. In terms of playing from the bottom, you're doing a tip-top job.
You're playing it well.
And I, too, and he even tried to qualify. I, too, will probably have to be there, but I'm not there right now. So
and then Kellee sums it up for us that there are a lot of contradictions in how everyone is feeling. And that this group's going to be changed when we walk out of here.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a Captain Obvious moment, but that's what Probst
That's what he wanted.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, so let's get to the votes. We get 1 vote for Jason, 1 vote for Noura, 1 vote for Molly, which
just raised a little eyebrow.
Got a little bug in the eyes there from that. And then another vote for Jason, and then a vote for Molly, a vote for Molly. At which point we got the dawning realization that Molly is on her way out, and indeed Molly gets blindsided.
Yeah, well, I think we all did.
Yeah,
I know I did.
Yeah, definitely we were, huh? Sandra tells us, they played her, and Probst describes it as brutal.
Actually, as a Survivor fan, it was an awesome moment.
Yes, it was.
And I thought, I know she's my USB and all. And I thought, I'm not really even upset. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought I should be more upset, but I'm not.
Probst had a message for Jamal there on the way out. He said, this game is clearly not in first gear.
Yes. So you might want to correct your direction, Jamal.
And I certainly updated my assessment of Lauren. She is a shot caller, and she perfectly executed Molly. There's a scene where she's describing how she's perceiving Molly. She says, I know you. I know your game. And there's a visual sequence that's happening. Molly's doing a big hair toss and then turning around to the camera while she's saying that. And it was like, whoo, wow. I got to relook at Lauren's...
I truly had not given her much...
credit.
Notice.
Yeah.
Until now.
That was...
Now I'm noticing.
That was for real, yes.
Yeah.
I overlooked her potential.
That was
for
like
sure.
a whoa.
Yeah. So what did you think about this episode?
I thought it was awesome. Even though I lost my USB, I was like, it's so early on, I hadn't really...
You weren't super attached?
Yeah, and actually I had... not been 100% sold after I listened to that interview. Mm-hmm. I just didn't know who else to pick, so I just let it ride. And I like Molly. I'm not saying I didn't, but I'm thinking I might not have liked her as much
going
further
forward.
Down. And but
you remarked several times while we were watching that you thought they were being arrogant, Molly and Jamal and Jack.
Not necessarily Jack. Jack was just kind of going along.
He does seem to be a bit of a tag-along.
Yeah, but Jamal and Molly, just a little bit.
The real battle was Lauren versus Molly.
Yeah.
And Molly was more focused on Noura as a target than she didn't see Lauren coming at all.
And yet, truthfully, it was Janet that stuck her neck out by saying how she truly felt when asked.
Lauren let that all happen.
Most people would have... said, well, I don't know. What do you think?
Would have deflected.
I'd have thrown it right back to her.
Right, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. What do you think?
Little Survivor judo.
Yeah. I would have wanted somebody to, but she just went right out with it. Well, she's...
I wonder if that was planned. Do you think Lauren and Janet planned that just so they could rope Kellee in? That would be even at a higher level. Yeah.
Yeah, but they had to pull everyone else in.
Mm-hmm.
Because Molly was not on anybody else's radar.
They didn't have
that
to
we
pull.
saw.
They didn't have to pull Noura or Jason. They ran towards the light for sure. So that
Yeah.
that gave them 4.
Jason and Noura was a
And
given.
I think Dan was probably in the same space. If he had any situational awareness, he was worried about his future after those exchanges with Kellee, and I'm sure he could feel that Molly wasn't receptive to him.
And we saw no massages this week.
No.
So obviously he's backed off, or they're just not showing it.
Yeah, once Janet,
Non-issue
once
anymore.
Janet got Tommy turned around, it was all falling into place numbers-wise.
Oh, I'm
so,
sure there was a whole lot more talking going on the rest of that day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It was a good challenge. The challenge was lopsided for a bit, and it was surprising to see that it was lopsided in favor of Lairo, but it did even back up thanks to Jamal, and then Lairo pulled it out. Missy ended up getting that last one, so that was cool. So I like the challenge component. The Island of the Idols segment was brief enough that it didn't seem overly intrusive, and so I kind of like the montage and the Kelly's blank expression thing, and while they ran through all those, yeah.
well, I liked what Molly said at the very end too. She turned and wished them good luck, guys, and she said she was stunned and a little hurt, but she said, "I guess I got cocky and I have been humbled."
Yes.
So I kind of like that she took it that way.
Yeah, she was still dazed at that point when she was given the confessional right after being voted out. You could tell that she was stung for sure.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine Jack and Jamal were too.
So I was happy that the twist didn't seem overly intrusive. I'm super surprised that Kellee has an immunity idol good for the next after this. Like you were saying, 2 more tribal councils that she ended up getting that. I really had picked her to go. I'm still not sure that she won't necessarily go soon, but because I'm not sure what she has to offer.
Kellee?
Yeah.
She has an idol to offer.
Yeah, but she kept quiet about it. I wish there was.
No, I mean to play in case she needs it.
Yeah, but again, you could have popped her. People don't want to play idols early. Who was talking about that? Was it Kim J or Jen? I can't remember who was talking about it in the last listener feedback show, but
someone was.
It's for sure, and that's absolutely, been the case. So you can blindside people with idols in their pockets early on, and because the tendency is to try to hold it as long as possible, it just becomes more and more likely someone's going to play it.
You're not kidding me, honey.
What?
You were just trying your best not to lose any safe points. That's all you could talk about. And if this happens, and I can still,
and I'm okay. Yeah, and I did get my safe point.
Hey, I'm okay.
All right, let's look at next time on Survivor, because there's definitely some things going on in the next portion. Probst tells us in a game of manipulation, cut to Vince answering Aaron's question if Vince is willing to throw in with him and Tom and Dean, which
the guys.
Seems like another group of survivors with the math problem. But Vince did absolutely the right thing. He was like, of course, absolutely, because you don't want to ostracize yourself.
And then told us, boy, they're stupid.
Yeah, they want me to join the bro contingency here.
That is not, let's see, 5 girls, 4 guys.
Right.
I'm going with you. Why?
I'm guessing that Tom thinks he's got Elaine, so they can pull the numbers that way.
Well, or unless they think they have
or Aaron thinks
Karishma or something
he can bring Missy in. Yeah, she wasn't really in play at all. She was invisible, and Dean again was invisible. So 2 in a row, purple Dean.
Maybe that means he goes deep.
Okay, could be.
And then someone is bleeding.
Yeah, and you can hear her say that she can see the bone. And
you thought it was Karishma.
I did. I absolutely thought it was Karishma.
We'll have to go look at the clothes.
Who did you think it was?
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I thought maybe Noura, but I don't think so.
No.
Noura would wear something colorful, but she's got on blues. And
yeah.
so I'll have to go look at the that top and see who had that on.
That's not Noura's hair either.
No, but that was my...
So I think Karishma cut her hand pretty bad if she can see the bone, or she thinks she can. And then we hear that the island of the idols twist is that that person's going to have to sneak into the other tribe's camp. And then we see
and we don't know what
a night scene at Vokai, and someone is screaming. Now, I don't know if that was the person from Lairo was tasked with going in and trying to scare him. Or...
I said, sounds like Vince to me.
Yeah, definitely. I thought,
but
wow.
I have no clue.
Or it could have been Dan. I thought, wow, that could be Dan with a high voice getting scared. You can clearly see Jack and Kellee pop up there in their shelter when that scream happens. So yeah.
The purple tribe is scared in the night. But it could have, they may not have known. Could have been an animal or...
Yeah, that could be something different. Or you know what I was thinking too was, what if they were told they can get an idol, but they have to go in the other tribe's camp at night to get it, and it's at the back of their shelter. And so what if that's that person getting caught basically,
or under their shelter.
Yeah. Jack or Kellee or someone's touching me. Yeah.
That would be kind of mean, but
you're going to be on guard. I remember reading something about the, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but Boston Rob in the shelter that he and Sandra built, it was actually over some path where these venomous snakes kept coming through. So they had to do snake checks every night before they bedded down for the night.
Bye-bye.
Because they found one when they were building it, and then there were more that had come through there.
No, I would be finding me a new place to live.
Yeah.
Not in this snake trail. I don't do snakes.
I can remember back in, when was that? It was like 90s. I want to say it was 97. I went to the Philippines, and I remember they had Cobra patrols at this new plant that we were bringing up, because I was there installing network gear. And that was unnerving to see the Cobra warning signs everywhere.
Said, remember nightmares?
Yeah.
So
yes,
we're done talking.
Okay. All right. Done with Next Time on Survivor. How about a JSFL update?
I can do that.
Okay.
There were 48 of us who lost our USB 24. There are 13 people tied in first. 66 people lost a safe point, and no one got a vote-off point.
How about that?
No one.
That happens every once in a while, but that's just a testament to what,
it's like,
as Probst said, a brutal blindside this really was, because it got all of us.
I was like, wow, that's awesome, too.
Yep.
Even if it was USB, it was just awesome. Okay, and the side challengers with 10 points tied in first place, Cold Mike and Jay Kindred. With 8 points, we have Jack, James and Shannon, Jeremiah, Jonathan, Justin, Parker, Randy, and Rebecca. With 7 points, we have Carolyn, Chris, Slappy, and Stacy. And in the bottom with 6 points, Drew.
Oh, I bet his picks rolled. I bet he's so busy he didn't have a chance to go in and make picks, and that's what that was.
Well, I don't know. I didn't look at that.
That's my guess.
That's your guess.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, we are looking forward to hearing what you thought about this one. The first episode really brought out the feedback. How many did we have?
31.
31 last Saturday when we put that together. So we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts about this episode, what you thought about the challenge, what you thought about the hit that Lauren called. Woo, goodness. And or at least how you perceived it all. Maybe you saw it in a different way than we did.
Yeah, than we did.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. Who do you think's in control? Who is in jeopardy? Are we going to get our first medical evac of the season? Let's hope not, but maybe that's what's happening. I don't know how bad it is when you see the bone, when you make a cut, but that sounds pretty bad. Certainly, at a minimum, there's a risk of infection that comes into play that you don't want anyone to have to deal with.
They would have to stitch it. They might stitch it and wrap it and leave them in the game unless it gets
Monitor
infected.
the infection, for infection. Well, we're excited to hear your thoughts on week 2 and how you think these folks are doing. What does that mean with Kellee and Chelsea having hidden immunity idols. Do you think that that's going to be a big impact on their game? Chelsea's doesn't have a timer on it, but Kelly's does. So, yeah, can't wait to hear your
But
thoughts.
they said the next two tribal councils that she went to.
And actually, it was 3. By the time she was done, it was 3.
Yeah, and then they said 3. So there should be 2 more for the purple tribe. They didn't say just tribal councils.
Let's go back and check that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it again on in the listener feedback show.
Yep.
But
So
I'm pretty sure he said for the purple tribe that she goes to. Or not even the purple tribe, just that she goes to.
Okay.
In case there's a swap.
Yeah. The voicemail number 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. To get the best possible audio quality, we suggest that you record it yourself and send it to us in an email at joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. If you're not comfortable calling, not comfortable yet with your voice being on the podcast, then you can always write it up, and then we'll read it into the listener feedback show on your behalf. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah, good deal. Good episode. Quite the shocker. Looking forward to your feedback. Have a good one.